We have talked about the wheel of life, the Buddhist wheel of life, in general terms a little bit, but we've not gone into any of the component parts or analyzed differences. So I just would like to clear up the symbolism of the three poisons. Now, the three poisons in Buddhism are ignorance, attachment, and hatred or aversion. And they are represented at the core of the Wheel of Life paintings. They are at the very center in a very small circle, and they are represented by a pig for ignorance, a bird for attachment, and a snake for aversion. So these three animals are actually spoken of. They're actually taught in the Mula Sarvasva Vada Vinaya Vibhanga text. So this is an early text. We're going back to first, second, third century of the first millennium. So the three animals are taught in a discourse given supposedly by the Buddha on how to paint a wheel of life image as a mural outside of the temple doors at the entrance point. So we have these three animals, and I believe in the Chinese they sometimes translate it as pigeon for the bird. So we have these three animals. Now, how they're depicted in Himalayan art is not always consistent. These three animals are said to be painted at the center, but in front of and below an image of the Buddha. So actually a Buddha is supposed to be at the very center of a Wheel of Life painting. We rarely see that. I think there's only one example of that on the Himalayan Art Resources website. Now, another thing that is sometimes said in Tibetan texts and by Tibetan teachers is that the three animals properly should be shown with the pig biting down on the tail of the snake and the tail of the bird. And in Himalayan art, typically the bird is a rooster. It's depicted as a rooster, full of desire, full of attachment. So now, we do have examples of the pig biting down on the tail of the snake and the bird, but it is not the norm. There's actually very few of them. The majority of depictions have all three animals biting each other's tails. So it's actually in a circle. Pig biting the snake, snake biting the rooster, rooster biting the pig's tail. So it's a circle. But this may be what's most common, but it's not the only manner of depiction. We can also have the three animals just placed randomly in the circle, not interacting with each other at all. We can have them stacked one above the other, and we can also have an image of a tree with the pig at the base of the tree, the snake curling up the tree, and then we have the bird at the top of the tree. So there's many different ways that this can be done. And so the real point here is just to know that in art it's depicted in many different ways, but in the original root text it's described differently. So don't forget, press the like button. You can ask questions, you can follow, subscribe. You can also join HAR on Patreon and help support the work that we do. HAR on Patreon, we provide longer videos. We provide videos that don't go up on other platforms. We also have unpublished articles, and we have images that are not yet uploaded to the Himalayan Art Resources website.